Well, Laura Blumenfeld is a Middle East analyst and former advisor to the U.S. State Department's Israeli-Palestinian negotiating team. She joins me from Washington, D.C. Welcome, Laura. Let's talk about these attacks between Israel and Hezbollah. Do you think this is just a brief escalation, or are we looking at more to come in the next days and weeks?
Look, it was a significant escalation, but it is the Middle East. There were bombs in the morning, and by the afternoon in Israel and Lebanon, the beaches were open, and in Egypt, the ceasefire talks continued. It's Middle East math. There are many open accounts. So I do think, to answer your question, there will be more, unfortunately. And as Prime Minister Netanyahu himself said, this is not the end of the story. That was his quote. I mean, there's still, open account with the Houthis. There's more potentially with Hezbollah. The Israeli civilians can't return to their homes, which are ghost villages right now in the north. A school is starting. It'll be the second year that Israeli children aren't able to attend school in their hometowns along that northern border. And of course, there's Iran hanging out there. So I'm sorry to say at the start of our week that this is not the end.
Now let's just talk a little bit about the timing of the Hezbollah attack on Israel. Hezbollah says it was retaliating against Israel for the killing of one of its commanders last month, but they didn't launch their massive attack until Israel attacked southern Lebanon. Why do you think that they waited?
Well, part of it I do take at face value what Nasrallah said. I mean, the ceasefire talks, there's been no breakthrough, but they haven't had a breakdown. And he certainly doesn't want to be part of that kind of blame game while they can't agree on the end game between Israel and Hamas. Part of it is, a bid for world favor. Another thing is, as the head of the Mossad once told me, but I think Nasrallah is following the same rule, when it comes to retaliation, you choose the timing, you choose the method, and you choose the battlefield. And part of it is by making your opponent wait is the kind of psychological head game, right? Where the Israelis have been on edge. So have the Lebanese, for that matter. But the Israelis have been, in sort of deep angst mode. The economy is suffering, and all that is part of the pain. It's part of the punishment.
And talking about waiting for retaliation, let's just talk about Iran briefly. They vowed revenge on Israel for the killing of Hamas's political chief Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran last month. So far, they haven't attacked Israel. What do you think's going on there?
Well, I think Iran for sure is playing the long game. There's a clock ticking down in Palestine Square in Tehran, which is a doomsday clock, which supposedly is going to, count down to Israel's annihilation. They do want punishment. I do believe there is a sort of need for blood for blood. And it could potentially show the form of some kind of terrorist attack abroad, perhaps. But in the meantime, the United States has sent 2 strike force carrier groups, and that submarine that they sent is not a defensive weapon. It is an offensive submarine, and I think that they're getting that message loud and clear.
Middle East analyst Laura Blumenfeld, thank you for your insights.
Thank you.
Hamas says it rejects new Israeli conditions put forward during talks in Cairo.